what can we do in Washington State about the possible corrupting influence of so-called big money? So just to repeat it, do you think there is too much money in politics? What can we do in Washington State about the possible corrupting influence of so-called big money? Mr. Matthews, if you can begin.
Wow. Not just in our state, in every state. I guess it's the love of money is the root of all evil, right? Well, I'll tell you, politics is absolutely corrupted with money. Big business, big union labor, labor bosses literally run most of the legislature, and most of the legislators who are willing to take their money, frankly, they become whores to the moneyed interests down there. It's gotten to the point where only people with any means can run, or you get people having to get extra jobs that sometimes push the limits. I just think that it's not an easy answer in government. You look at the Public Disclosure Commission and the reports that come out on what every candidate files, on where their money comes from. It's absolutely appalling. The amount of gaining interest, tribes, and what are they trying to do? What are they trying to buy? The favor of the legislators so that their interests would be covered? It's just appalling. I think that the public really needs to know where that money goes and who is being bought down in Olympia. Do you give thousands of dollars to every candidate? Yet, union interest and big business, it's amazing the amount of money and outside money from outside the state that come in and literally buy elections. Swapping from between parties and PACs. It's just gotten out of control, and it needs to be publicized more and more. Or there needs to be a campaign cap, and just make it forums like this, and that's all the candidates can do outside of getting out and door billing, which we all do. It's an appalling problem, and I think it needs to be addressed.
Senator Liias.
Thank you, Paul. I do think that nationwide, this is a problem that we need to address. I think here in Washington, we've actually come up with some solutions that can help guide what should happen at the federal level. Here in Washington, the most that a candidate can receive for any election is $950. So someone can give for the primary and the general, and then you can receive $1,900. That's the maximum that a candidate here can receive. I've been fortunate in my campaign to raise over $150,000, but no donor that donated, and there have been almost 1,000 that have donated, none could give more than that $1,900. So it helps regulate and moderate the influence that any donor can have. In other states, you look at the Virginia governor's race, for example, where one person can give hundreds of thousands of dollars to one candidate. That's corrupting. The other thing that's really powerful here in Washington is every single dollar that a candidate receives here is disclosed to the public, so that every one of you can go to pdc.wa.gov and look at exactly the contributions that I've received and how we've spent that money. That's not true at the federal level. Big PACs, and especially the super PACs, don't have to disclose their donors. They don't have to disclose what they're doing with that money. I think that sunshine is the best policy. I'm proud to have almost 1,000 people on board our campaign, helping us get our message out to you. I'm also proud that you can run a race in Washington State and not have to spend millions of dollars and be able to serve your community. So I think that limiting the size of contributions, making sure that we have to disclose them. If you ever see a donation that I've received that you have questions about, you have every right to write me and say, why did you take that money? What did you do with that money? Where did it come from? What promises did you make? I'm happy to answer those questions, because that disclosure is a way that we keep ourselves honest in this state. And we are always learning from this. Now, it doesn't help when the Supreme Court says that corporations are people and says that we can't regulate their donations and that we can't stop that unlimited contribution. That's something that's got to change. But I think we've got a model here in Washington for how we can solve this problem.
Thank you. Well, as a first-time candidate, first-time running for public office, I don't know what it's like to have big money in my campaign. I don't have support of the Indian tribes. I don't have support of the large health insurance companies. I don't have the support of the union bosses behind me either. But I have a lot of support from people when I go and knock on their door and talk to them, and we talk about the issues. And that's the support that I enjoy getting from my community here in the 21st Legislative District. I know that we have laws, I know that we have maximums, we have to report everything that we are given to our campaigns, but I just honestly have to say I haven't experienced it yet, so I can't say. But I'm not bought and paid for by big money. Nobody owns me. I can go down there, but I can and work on laws. But I'd also like to talk to the people and listen to the people of the 21st District when I go down to Olympia and make decisions for the state. Thank you very much.
Representative Ortiz-Self.
Thank you. I don't think anyone up here that is running has a lot of means, so I like my fellow colleague, would say the same thing. This is my first election. There are some other elections. I just came from a state legislative conference where I was meeting with other state legislators, and I heard everything from, a cap of 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, no cap. I am proud to say that we do have that cap of 1,900 here in this state, and I am proud to say that we've ran this campaign. The first thing they tell you is contact, 100, 200 family and friends, and start generating $500 from each of them or $1,000 from each of them. My friends don't have that kind of money. That's not anything that, I work with teachers, I work with custodians, I work with paraeducators, I work with dental assistants, we don't have that kind of money. So we couldn't do that. We raised $21. We ran a campaign that said $21 for the 21st, and we ran it, and people donated $21, and they donated $3, and they donated $5. And we also made sure that we didn't take money from anyone that we didn't agree, or we felt that we could not uphold similar philosophies with. And we're very proud of that. And it's been hard. I've got to tell you, that's been the hardest part of running this campaign, is realizing that everything costs money and how to do that, and the expense involved. But I'm very proud to say that we've kept our integrity and our dignity through all of that, and we've had a lot of hard-working people that have stepped up and donated. And the best part of that is that they're very transparent about it. I believe in a strong transparency. Everything's listed. Everyone knows what we're doing, and I'm very proud of that.
Councilmember Peterson.
Not sure exactly what to add to the conversation. The Public Disclosure Commission in Washington is one of the best models in the nation. Are we perfect? No, but we're always working on it. As Senator Liias pointed out, sunshine is the best antiseptic for any questions or transparency. We report everything, and both on the spending side and the donation side. I think that's really important. One, I think it's important that people can see that, yard signs aren't kind of ridiculously expensive. But these are the little pieces of literature that are out on the tables today. Those do cost money. And I think it's important that people are able to access that information and look, say, well, they're getting the word out by going door to door with this little piece of literature. I would love more than anything for this room to be standing alone and to do half a dozen of these forums and do some doorbelling and not have to mail out a bunch of pieces of literature. But people have busy lives. People don't always have the time to come to one of these and not even time to click on my Edmonds News and watch it at their leisure. So it's all about getting voter turnout, and it's all about reaching the voters. I've always been proud to be on the Edmonds City Council and in the 21st District, where we have some of the highest voter turnout in the state. That's something that is just fantastic when you sit back and you've won or lost. I've been on both sides of that in an election. Winning is more fun. But to see that the voter turnout and that the people in our communities really care, but we have to be able to get the word out to them. And so the PDC is a big part of that equation, so people know what we're spending and how we're spending our money. Thanks.
Mr. McPheeters.
Well, I agree. I think the PDC is fine. The PDC just told me that Councilman Peterson has raised about $50,000 for this campaign, and I've raised about, I think, $1,800 for this campaign. So I'd be delighted to get the big money out of this political campaign. That would help me a lot. I think the real problem with money in politics is that there's so much money in government. Why do the unions give so much money to Democratic candidates? Are they going to get some of that money back? Or are they just philanthropic? I don't know. It seems pretty obvious to me. You'll have to make your own judgment. Why do big businesses give so much money to candidates on both sides of the aisle? Are they thinking they're going to get some of that money back? Could be. We don't have a constitutional requirement that says the government has to spend an enormous amount of money on this, that, and the other. So let's get some of that money out of the government, and then we won't have as much money in politics. That seems pretty straightforward to me. That's all I got.
Final question for tonight.